The nature of repeating seeds is fairly interesting for Bedrock Edition, as we previously found 2 different types of repeating seeds inside the game, and as of today, we found a new type of repeating seed. And you can thank Seed Legend Cracked Magnet for this one seed. Check out his channel, link down below. But straight away, looking at the one spawn, you can already see that there's some pretty interesting types of things happening right here. Yeah, our spawn is literally already at minus 44 inside of the world. But when heading up, you could also notice that there's some pretty interesting and different types of generation you wouldn't normally expect inside of a normal survival world. Well, that is because instead of, like, say, the 16 by 16 chunks generating in over and over and over again, what this actually affects is one specific type of structure, the abandoned mineshaft, having it generate in over and over and over for an infinite amount of time. And by going into spectator and flying inside the wall, you can see that, yeah, this abandoned mineshaft goes on for quite a decent length of time. And you can also kind of see the nature of the repeating pattern. Say with these pillars right here, you can see we have one right here, then we have another right here, then we have another right there, and then we have, yeah, you get the point. It goes on and on and on and on and on and on forever. And just in case you don't quite believe me that this goes on forever and ever and ever, let me just speed up the footage just for a little bit, just to see that, yeah, this goes on for a very, very long time. And when I say a very, very long time, what I should have just said was an infinite space of time, because no matter how far you go, this thing will keep going on and on and on for as long as you physically want to go. And something else I like about this one seed is, instead of the other repeating seeds where you know exactly where you could find, like, diamonds, like you find one vein and then you just go in one direction and find the other, this one, it's a little bit different, because inside of here you could obviously find some of these abandoned mineshaft chests, but instead of them generating in a complete and straight line, they're actually a little bit more random to that. But let's take this one for example. So remember my coordinates right here being minus 12, and let's just go in this direction for a while just to see if we could find any more. Well, we found another one, but not quite at minus 12, and yeah, I could do way more examples like that, but I think you get the point. You have to be a little bit more strategic in actually finding these abandoned mineshaft chests, going more in a zigzag pattern rather than a completely straight pattern, which I think in the end is pretty okay, because as we can see inside these slightly bigger caves right here, what actually happens is the abandoned mineshaft actually sort of generates over itself over and over again, which means you get one of the bigger platforms of abandoned mineshaft you would not normally see. Like, seriously, unless you're incredibly lucky, you're never going to see anything like this in a traditional survival world. But obviously, the spawn of the world has a much better example of that, as we could see. But if the odds of this happening weren't crazy enough, then another crazy thing is the fact that the spawn coming back here is actually on a taiga island in the middle of nowhere. But something else I find interesting than that is the fact that coming in this direction instead, we can see that it just ends for no apparent reason. Like, you don't see any mega caves or any big waterways or anything like that coming through it, but yeah, for some reason it just ends for a few hundred blocks until we go in this direction for a little bit, until we eventually link up to another infinitely repeating mineshaft right here. And yeah, that just doesn't really make sense in my opinion, but it's just another one of these strange quirks that this one seed actually has. And in case you're looking for an explanation as to how the seed actually managed to generate in this over and over and over again, my best guess is that something similar to the other repeating seeds happened to just one particular structure. Because to my knowledge, a couple years ago on Bedrock Edition, abandoned mineshafts actually went on for a very, very long time, much longer than what it was actually normally able to go on. And at my best guess, what actually happened was maybe that same types of a bug actually happened over and over and over again. So, and I think that solidifies the fact that when we hop over to Chunk Base and actually type in the same seed, we can see that, yeah, the exact same mineshaft actually goes on again and again and again and again, over and over and over and over and over again, creating this infinitely repeating mineshaft that goes on for literally forever. Like, there is literally no end to this one abandoned mineshaft unless the world actually were to physically end somehow. And considering this is Bedrock Edition with infinitely generating worlds, I can't really see that happening anytime soon. And in case you're wondering if that's the only repeating abandoned mineshaft inside the seed, well, what actually happened is that throughout the entire world of this one seed, repeating abandoned mineshafts will actually generate in over and over and over again in different spots, just going in infinitely in the exact same directions. But the reason I like this one so much is the fact that two abandoned mineshafts actually managed to generate in right next to each other, giving you an incredibly wide and incredibly thick abandoned mineshaft going on for literally infinity. And looking at it from below, you can kind of see like, yeah, this is an incredibly wide abandoned mineshaft, much wider than what you would normally expect, at least from these infinitely repeating mineshafts. As well as that, this one also has infinitely repeating cave spider spawners, which means, yeah, in case you want to make a cave spider farm, then this might be a good place on doing it. Though I would recommend being a little bit careful around here. As you can see, my frames are not liking the amount of cave spider spawners around this one place. And geez, looking at it from here, I can't imagine why. Oh, and I didn't even realize this, but even the cave spider spawners aren't completely the same. They actually are a little bit more random than normal. You get one on this side, you get another like on this side, so there's a little bit more randomness. So there's a little bit more randomness to the abandoned mineshafts than I originally thought. And it gets even crazier apparently when it actually links up to the surface of it, because look at the amount of chains you're actually seeing hanging up this one mineshaft, as well as having a ludicrous amount of logs beneath it. So in case you're not looking to diminish an entire forest or something like that, then obviously this is the place to do it in. This is the structure to actually go and get an infinite supply of wood at. Oh, I think I just found like an infinite hallway right here. Like, look at this. We're going on and on and on and on and on, and apart from some lava and water every now and then, this just keeps going over and over and... Oh, there's the end. Well, that was a little bit premature. Nope, never mind. Keeps going on and on and on. But I guess if I had to recommend the seed to anyone, it would probably be those that wanted to try having a survival experience underground, but wanted maybe something just a little bit more serious and a little bit more insane, like what we are seeing right here. So maybe this seed might have you covered in that department, but regardless, I'd still recommend everyone to check out this one seed just to see the insanity of this one structure going on literally forever. And actually, speaking of insanity, I wonder if we're gonna get like infinitely repeating like abandoned mine shafts in the Mesa Badlands. I don't think we would, but there's always a chance. I've been looking fairly thoroughly throughout this Mesa Badlands and have not seen a single Mesa Badlands mine shaft, so I guess in some ways you're going to have to sacrifice one type of structure for our infinitely glitching mineshaft. Which honestly, for most people, I don't think would be too much of an issue, seeing as how much mineshaft you're getting in this one seed, but it's just something to keep in mind with this one seed. But yeah, once again, this seed, absolutely crazy and insane, and something I have not seen to this extent in quite a decent length of time. And once again, and thanks again to Cracked Magnet for finding this incredible seed. And again, I implore you, check out his channel. He finds some incredibly amazing seeds like this one. But yeah, for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.